Think about the life cycle of software on premise. There's this upgrade cycle that has to occur where you have to acquire the latest version, you have to test that latest version in your infrastructure, roll that version out to all of your team members. Whereas in the cloud infrastructure and a SaaS architecture or a hosted service, those upgrades are provided for you, they're maintained, you're able to adopt that innovation almost immediately.
From Aderant, this is Studio A, the podcast that helps legal professionals like you stay on top of trends and solutions that keep your law firm thriving. Welcome to Studio A, powered by Aderant, your podcast for insightful conversations shaping the legal tech industry. I'm Will Ayers. Over the past few years, the use of cloud-based solutions by law firms has grown to around 70%, according to the American Bar Association. And from my conversations with legal experts, that number will continue to rise. So today we will explore the benefits of cloud-based solutions and how Aderant's native cloud platform is helping law firms better serve their clients. Today I have two special guests, two people that I'm very familiar with that are doing great work at Aderant. First, we have Doug Matthews, Chief Product Officer at Aderant, and Josiah Chaves, General Manager of Business Law Solutions at Aderant. Welcome to Studio A.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks for having us.
Now, let's get right into the conversation around cloud-based technology. There are a lot of law firms that are on premise, and they may not be in the cloud. Let us know and talk to our audience. What are the benefits of a native cloud platform?
The benefits of a native cloud platform are the traditional IT benefits that all clients see, whether you're in legal or not. But it's generally because of cloud solutions, you're able to attain greater operational efficiency. And by that, what I mean is you're able to really more quickly adopt innovation as it comes out. So if you think about the life cycle of software on premise, there's this upgrade cycle that has to occur where you have to acquire the latest version, you have to test that latest version in your infrastructure, roll that version out to all of your team members. Whereas in the cloud infrastructure and a SaaS architecture or a hosted service, those upgrades are provided for you, they're maintained, you're able to adopt that innovation almost immediately. So it allows you to stay current on the pace of innovation versus waiting for innovation to come to you and for you to be able to adopt it. The other thing I would also say is it dramatically changes the way that IT operates within a business. So, today, with an on-premise architecture, IT is responsible for managing infrastructure. So most of their investment, their time, their energy goes towards maintaining and ensuring infrastructure is maintained and kept online. Whereas in a cloud architecture, they don't need to manage that infrastructure anymore. They're really managing the SLA associated with the service. So it's really a dramatic shift for the IT function in the firm.
Migrating to the cloud can be a big deal, is a big deal for a law firm. It takes a lot of time, takes a lot of strategy consideration as well. What are some of the challenges that law firms face as they consider moving from on-premise to the cloud, and just talk about some of the roadblocks that they may face as they actually make the jump?
It can be challenging for the IT team themselves because it is truly a different set of skills. You're no longer kind of alluded to it. You're not racking and stacking hardware anymore. It truly is about kind of understanding a cloud vendor if you're operating in the cloud yourself, how to configure inside that cloud, how to automate inside that cloud. Totally different set of skills, totally different set of technologies that an IT individual is working in. And when it comes to kind of that relationship with a SaaS vendor, it truly is understanding kind of your role as a firm and as an IT individual inside a firm versus the vendor's role. And what really are those responsibilities and where is that line of demarcation and what responsibilities do you have and how do you partner together to provide the best service and solutions for your end users. And so really kind of working with your vendors to help refine and define those roles, understanding kind of your networking responsibilities versus your cloud providers and your solution providers' networking responsibilities, how those things can come together and work efficiently is something that really is kind of a key part of how firms can best take advantage of the cloud and the services that their vendors may be providing for them.
Now, in the industry just overall, there are a lot of new lawyers. Many people call them next gen. They've kind of grown up in a world built around automation. And there's also an appetite for the more veteran lawyers as well to leverage products that just drive productivity and efficiency just in general. Doug, why do you believe it's important that law firms consider using solutions that drive automation and tackle routine tasks more effectively?
I think that's a really great question, Will, because we've spent a lot of time talking with firms around what their problems are. And we've kind of identified that in a unique problem statement that we call the 4 Cs. That our firms that we speak to are wrestling with compliance. So whether they're compliant with their internal rules, government regulations, or even outside counsel guidelines or matter-specific client rules, compliance is a big challenge for them. The second big C is coordination, coordinating amongst their team members, making sure everybody has the right information at the right time. The third big problem is reduce costs and maintaining costs. So that's the third C. And the big fourth C is compensation, getting the firm paid. So if you think about the 4 Cs, automating and making that process much more efficiently across their business operations, it's effectively how you solve all 4 Cs at once through automation and driving efficiency. Josiah, you probably have some examples here that you might want to talk about.
Yeah, well, I'll probably start with an area that we've been investing in tremendously, which is kind of what we view as being one of the largest challenges our law firm clients face, which is really kind of managing the end-to-end, you can call it contract to cash cycle or work to cash cycle, where truly kind of understanding your client is really important, and understanding the requirements around how to do business with them and how to work with them is really important, from being able to kind of do time reconstruction in a way that allows a timekeeper to kind of get and understand the requirements of their client, but also rapidly do their time entry without kind of having to go into a system all the time to track and type in hands-on keyboards, really allowing them to do their work. All the way through to kind of getting and sending your bills out the door. These are things that all of our clients massively struggle with. And we've created a set of solutions that help them with that across that contract to cash cycle that we think is really kind of making a huge impact for a lot of firms, and something that we're really excited about the impact it's having across those 4 Cs that you alluded to, Doug.
In 2024, artificial intelligence, AI, was a huge topic, and it was somewhat of a buzzword to a certain extent across all business verticals. But I think in 2025, law firms and leaders, they want to know like how AI can actually take their business to the next level. Why do you think it's important for law firms to consider using AI to bolster their business?
You hit it right. Last year, maybe the year before, it was a bit of a buzzword. Actually, last year, it seemed to really mature very quickly, almost overnight. This is without a doubt a rapidly developing space that all law firms should be watching very closely, because generative AI really is an impact for the knowledge workers of our industry, right? And of course, the legal industry is just full of knowledge workers. Definitely something to keep a watch on. Last year, it was really all about automation of routine tasks. So if something is done over and over again, predictable, routine, utilizing machine learning algorithms, AI to kind of accomplish those tasks, that was a big outcome everybody was driving towards, as well as making better business decisions. So, analyzing data to correlate and find information so that you can make a better business decision was a big use case. But boy, it's moving even faster now. And running their businesses is getting more efficient with AI. So this year, everybody's taking on risk as topics. So like looking at matters, looking at risk for overruns, looking at commercial risks, looking at business risks on the actual practice of law side, or even operating your business, things like your team members, watching your team members, making sure they're developing appropriately, or potentially a risk of attrition in the future. So all of these kind of new risk-based capabilities are kind of really the focus this year, amongst many more. So I would just highly recommend that people continue to watch the space. It's rapidly developing.
Now, something across the industry that's very common is that at the end of the day, law firms, they want to make money. They want to drive revenue. And at Aderant, Timekeep is a big solution, very valuable solution that many law firms around the world are using. Josiah, can you talk about the way Aderant is leveraging AI to enhance Timekeep as a solution?
Well, first I'll say it is rapidly developing and continues to rapidly develop. But we really kind of several years ago saw the emergence of kind of this AI technology. Even before the hype cycle of Gen AI began, we saw a world where, bringing together the capabilities of time reconstruction, which we had done at Aderant for many years, with the ability to kind of then leverage the work we were doing in our Onyx product with extracting outside counsel guidelines and understanding kind of the compliance requirements of time entry, bringing that together with what we had in kind of a robust set of data of outcomes of what had occurred with time entries and Bill Blast, that we could really deliver accurate narratives with time reconstruction for our attorneys. And that's we've been releasing those capabilities inside of our Timekeep product over the last year and a half. We're continuing to kind of improve the models and roll out new features around those capabilities. And so for us, it's a transformational area, particularly for timekeepers. But we have a responsibility as kind of a trusted vendor for firms around business management, making sure that they get paid, that they get compensated to do it in a way that they will. And so we've tied together a bunch of capabilities and kind of source of truth of data to really bring what we think is some important and compelling capabilities around AI for timekeepers that don't just impact the timekeeper themselves, but impact everyone in the firm who interacts with time and billing and how they get paid and operate.
Now, before we wrap, one final question for both of you. Doug, what can we expect from Aderant in 2025?
The simplest answer to that is a lot of innovation. So we have a tremendous payload that we are looking forward to launching at our Momentum event in Dallas this year. I'm not going to leak anything, Will, because we're holding it back. We're going to build the excitement going into it, but it's a tremendous amount of new capabilities that Josiah and the team have been working on. So that's what I would say, just a lot of innovation.
And Josiah, for you, what should firms consider as they look at new cloud solutions, innovative technology, and AI to really drive better business results?
That's a great question, Will. And I wish Doug would let me leak some things here. Looking out for some things we're going to be doing. When it comes to AI, the source of data is so important. While Gen AI can kind of help us solve problems, truly doing it from a source of data that is a good set of data is really important. So understanding the data that your vendor is using to produce AI outcomes is really, really critical in kind of how a firm should evaluate the ability of a vendor to execute the vision that they're presenting. I think we at Aderant have a really kind of robust set of data that we've been able to do some really important and compelling things. And I, for one, look forward to kind of continuing to do those things in all sorts of different areas in the business of law.
Well, that's all great news. I'm super excited for all the amazing things coming down the pipeline from Aderant. Doug, Josiah, thank you so much for joining this episode of Studio A.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Will.
Thanks for listening to Studio A. For more from this episode, visit Aderant.com. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a beat, and we'll see you next time in Studio A.